Hello, YouTube. This is Gavagai. I I mentioned this a Bible study that I came across on YouTube in a hangout with JD Kane a couple of weeks ago, and I've kind of been thinking about it more, and I thought, you know, the what I saw there is significant enough that I think it warrants kind of special attention. This won't be a long video. I'm really just doing this to kind of highlight uh, the idea of not turning off your skeptical mind, and I think that um, there are a lot of times when uh, and this is from my own personal experience anecdotally, that when Christians go into Bible studies, they kind of shut off their critical thinking in a lot of ways and become just kind of affirmation people. And this particular Bible study um, that is on a Daughter Redeemed's channel, uh, which it just kind of came to my attention. I think Rand Campbell posted a comment on it, and so I looked at it, and I at first glance I thought, oh man, this is just kind of an echo chamber, and so I posted the comment on the video saying, well, you guys should really invite people who might challenge you to think a little differently just about some of the things you're saying, or at least question, because I listened to just a few minutes, and there were things on in that few minutes clip that I listened to that I thought, even as a Christian, I might have said, "Hey, wait a minute, what's going on? What do you mean by that? Or where are you getting that information? Or are you sure that you're right?" And uh, I was challenged and said, "Oh, it's not an echo chamber. Sometimes we have disagreements or whatever." I listened to more of it, and I listened to 5 to 10 minute stretches, kind of sampling throughout the whole thing, and the more I listened to it, the more disturbed I became, and so I thought, it's a good opportunity to just kind of highlight this idea, and uh, I'm going to play a short clip. One of the one of the kind of most outrageous claims that I heard while kind of sampled throughout this hangout, and no one in the group, batted an eyelash at it, and they just all kind of said, "Okay, yeah, that sounds good," um, because it kind of bolstered their faith or their beliefs, um, and I think it certainly deserves some some skeptical thought and criticism. So here's that clip, and I'm going to play it now.
I have seen, something that really spoke to me. I have a friend that lives in the building, and he's, I believe, an atheist. He's a scientist. He's getting his PhD, and he's building this, and he believes in all the, he had a Christian background, and he suffered a lot through that. But and I talked to him about God, and he's really knowledgeable about the Bible too. And because usually atheists, if they don't know about the Bible, they know how you're going to be an atheist because you don't know what not to believe. And I found out this really good online. There was this study going on that was shut down by the government, I think, and it's a group of scientists, atheist scientists, and in the blood cells, in the blood, in the DNA, they're decoding DNA, and they've been doing this for a long time, and they use all these different languages and all these different languages that to decode it and to see what it means, and they could not. The trash DNA is this part of the DNA that this one language, this one decoding that they never use. They call it trash DNA, and when they apply that to this part of the DNA, it said Bible verses. Whenever they use the decoding for certain DNAs, for the DNA, it said, and these are atheists, and it said there were Bible verses, different Bible verses, like all separated in between. Wow. And they will cut off away some words, and they will put the words that made sense together, and they were Bible verses. And there were some of them that would make, like, for example, part of in the beginning, it was created in the beginning, heavens and earth, and then it would jump into a whole different Bible verse. But it is crazy, and they were trying to get it, patent and to have it, show it to the world, and they didn't let it.
Okay. So if you didn't catch that, apparently, whoever this person is, Maddie, I think is what his username that appears, by his icon when he's speaking. His claim is that there was a study done where scientists looked at DNA in blood cells, and specifically in the parts of the DNA that aren't being utilized or have no kind of functionality, and biologists term this junk DNA, and that's a real term, and it really refers to um, portions of our genetic code that is just turned off and is not being used, and there are kind of archaic functions and things like that that we see in other animals that where it's turned on. I'm not a biologist by any means, and I only have kind of a very rudimentary or elementary grasp of all of this, but that's my understanding. So, but the claim is that somehow they applied language to the DNA, sequences in the junk DNA, and that what they got back out from these sequences was language that corresponded with Bible verses. And again, no one in the group, after he's finished describing this, says, "What study was that? Who conducted the study? Was it peer reviewed? How did they get from uh, sequences of proteins to words like in the beginning, or whatever other kind of Bible verses? Can we look at it? Is this actually true?" And this is just one example, and I'm not going to go beyond this, but I think it is indicative of how just passive people can become when they have been trained to just believe things and not ask questions, not be doubtful, and not think and process things. It's a dangerous thing. If you went into a car dealership and had that level of skepticism that you were armed with, you could get in serious. You could have serious problems, and to a doctor's office, anywhere that you go. Skepticism is important, and it helps us. It prevents us from making errors in thinking, um, and even even if you really want to believe something like your religious beliefs, it is still important to kind of maintain some degree of skepticism and critical thinking about things that you're being told, unless you have absolutely no care for what is true. uh, be skeptical, and that's all. That's all I had to say for this video. I hope that that was um, somewhat helpful for you, and um, I plan to take a little bit of time off here. I've had um, some things going on in our family, including my mother who just passed away, um, and it was um, it was very sudden and abrupt. She was 73 years old, and even though we had disagreements, I still loved her very much and will miss her. I may do uh, a video later on, maybe next week sometime, just talking about my experience at the funeral. This will be the first kind of death in the family that I'll have experienced since kind of losing my faith. So it'll be different for me, and I'm also wondering about my how interactions with other family members who are very religious and very committed, how that's going to go down. Um, so I guess tune in for that, and I'll just have some reflections on that, and also thoughts about my maybe my mom and my relationship with her as I kind of went through this process. So hope you've enjoyed just those brief thoughts, and I guess I'll leave you with just one last thing, and that's be kind and tell the people that you care about that you love them, because none of us really knows how long we have, and I'm glad that I think my last conversation with my mom, I did tell her that I loved her, and I know that she was aware that I cared for her and loved her. So um, thanks everyone, and have a good weekend, and I'll see you later.